guys can probably hear the air like running pretty loudly, so apologies for that, but it's hot. Um, I don't know how hot, but I imagine it's already in the high 80s and only going to get worse. I have been having sinus pressure issues and migraines. The question is always chicken or egg, like, did the migraines trigger the sinus pressure? Did the sinus pressure trigger the migraine? I don't know. I helped out with some cleaning over in my office last week, and let me just say that those surfaces had not seen a wipe, a duster, or anything in a very long time, probably years. So the amount of dust and, let's face it, mold that is probably in that dust kicked up, and I think that triggered the sinuses, and then that triggered the migraine. But maybe the migraine was already there and the sinuses just made it worse. So I don't know. So today is Monday. I'm taking the day off. I have the time, and I told myself, why am I going to go to work and suffer through this? I can already feel the pressure building back here. I've already taken like as much of my triptans as I feel comfortable taking. I have a 2 to 3 a week limit, and I don't like to go over it. My doctor has allowed me to go over it. She says that, especially like for menstrual migraines, like she's given me a protocol where I can basically take it twice a day, every day, but it scares me. The side effects are scary. My migraines get better, but they come back, and not as badly as with other triptans I've taken, but I don't want to create rebound headaches, which are like impossible to treat migraines because of overuse. And I don't want to, trigger any of the potential side effects, which are quite terrifying, honestly. So I've maxed out the triptans. I don't know if I want to take Advil. I keep puffing up. Every time I take Advil, it does cause a lot of water retention for me, and that's a symptom that's been happening over the years because of all the Advil I've had to take. It's one of the only NSAIDs that really works for me, and I don't like to take too much of it either, just because I'm also scared of the potential side effects on my kidneys, given that it already gives me a visible like puffiness. Like I can see that I'm puffy and swollen, so I don't want to take too much of that either. So I was like, I'm just gonna stay home, do everything else, relax, take care of stuff around the house that I didn't take care of over the weekend because of the migraines, and just take care of me. It's summertime, work is slow right now, so I always, like I've said before, let others in my unit like take care of themselves, and I feel like I've been not doing as much of that for myself as I should. So today is a real self-care day at home and a catch-up reset life day. I had a donut for breakfast. Not the best thing for a reset, but I bought that pack to share yesterday, and I didn't eat mine because I felt so crap. So I was like, well, you know what? We're going to have a proper indulgent breakfast, or at least indulgent for me. I had the donut. Not the worst thing. It's plain glazed, so, just a whole lot of carbs and sugar, but it is what it is. I had a good time. And yeah, so we're going to do a slow day at home, and I'll take you guys with me. And the air conditioner will probably be turning off soon because it is a little too expensive to run it all day, especially to keep this place cool. So I will be sweating. I'm going to do the cephalate for my 20-minute prevention, even though I should do the 1 hour like treatment mode, but I don't feel like it is that level. So prevention maybe to stop what's happening. I also put some migraine pain relieving cream on my neck because the bulk of the pressure is like right here. I suspect that my migraines are also partially triggered by cervical spondylitis. It's shown up in scans that I did recently for my sinuses. But my doctor hasn't ever really addressed it. And I don't know if that's more of an orthopedic thing. The neurologist has never really addressed it, but I imagine that it's, probably putting pressure on either my occipital nerve or my trigeminal. I definitely feel the trigeminal nerve. Like it like goes, a lot of the pain like shoots like in that direction or then in that direction. So I know that part of it is that's partially the TMJ stuff too. So I'm just a hot mess, but I will say that my migraines have actually improved. I've been a bit more strict with my supplement protocol in the last month. I've also, well, the last like 3 months really, but in the last month I've really seen improvements. So, it takes usually about 3 months for any kind of thing to really start to show an effect. I've also been much more consistent with my exercise because of that. And I know that that also goes hand in hand. Like my migraines affect my ability to move. My ability to move affects my migraines. And it's just like a vicious cycle. But I have actually like consistently exercised and engaged in like daily movement, strength training, trying to get my 10,000 steps in, or at least 7,000 on days when I don't actively do any kind of workout, like just like wandering around the library where I work or around the campus or something. So I've been trying to get there. Like if by 6 p.m. I haven't really reached anywhere near 7,000, then I usually do like a Grow with Joe workout or something just to get the steps in. If it's not a day that I have like a planned like step involved workout. And that's, I think, been helping too because just moving my body, I feel like keeps my nerves from becoming overly sensitized, especially like the nerves in like my trigger point areas. They bunch up, I think partly because of lack of movement, like the muscles just kind of bunch up and turn into big knots, and then that triggers the migraines. So it has not been the worst 3 months. It has been the best, but like looking over my tracker, I've had, like my typical hormonal migraines like twice a month, and generally my period migraines are the worst, and this is that time. But overall, like my almost daily either prodrome or actual attack has not happened in that way in the last couple months, but this month in particular was particularly good. And I don't want to jinx that, but it's crazy ridiculous the number of supplements that I have to take, and I can't find them all in an all-in-one like a multi, because the multi that I used to take that was really good, they no longer produce it. They rebranded and reformulated, and so the formula that I used to take is just not available anymore. And I haven't found anything with the same doses and like types of vitamins comparable. So I'm just like stuck with like the different pill bottles, but it's been helping. And I've seen it both with the migraines and with my energy levels. So I think my thyroid has been, improving. Like my thyroid function has been supported, and my, I always sound like a broken record, but it's like my PCOS that I am questionable on, mostly because I really think it's triggered by my thyroid, not necessarily like actual PCOS. Like I think it's PCOS symptoms triggered by thyroid dysfunction, not necessarily PCOS on its own. The way that diagnosis came about was just a little too like, oh, this is what you have like in the office, instead of any actual testing to prove that I had a hormonal imbalance, and my hormones are generally fine. So I don't think that that's true in that like classic case. So I do suspect it's thyroid. Long story, beside the point. But anyhow, so this thing is shaking my head. Like that's what it does. It's like a massager for your brain. It's really targeting the trigeminal nerve. So it feels really nice to me. My partner wanted to try it and he thought it felt like torture, but it actually feels really good to me. So I quite enjoy the sensation. Sometimes it makes me nice and relaxed and sleepy, and I'll do it before bed. I have been a little lax in the preventative mode because I've been feeling good on the supplements, so I haven't done the preventative mode as often. I also have to have like a clean, like no lotions on my face type of situation to do this. And I then, if I fall asleep, I don't do my skincare. So I will admit I've been prioritizing doing my skincare because I've been feeling good and not doing the Cephalate for the 20 minutes at night. So I need to find a better way to do that to maintain the preventative mode. That's a lot of chatter from me. I'll continue this and probably fall asleep for a few minutes before I move on with my day. So we're doing laundry. We are trying to fix this place up, and we are making some lunch. I shall bring you to my kitchen where I will be making leftover chicken and flatbread into some sort of pita sandwich concoction. Today is definitely a let's clear the fridge type of day because I have meals that I have planned for the week and I need to clear out the fridge. I don't want to waste anything, so it's a good day to make leftovers. But everything is a mess. As per usual, I feel like every vlog is a reset vlog, but this one feels particularly reset-y. So laundry is happening. Dishes need to be done, and I have a tiny laundry machine that I bought for myself, so I'm going to use it for like delicates, see how that goes. And at some point I'm going to have to turn off the air conditioner and then we will die of heat. So we'll see how it goes. I made, it's like almost like a pita hero type situation with some chicken and lettuce and spicy mayo because I didn't have much of anything else. So cleaning out the fridge sandwich it is. Trying to find the best angle to eat this. It's good. This is the first proper meal I've had today, and I wanted it to be a little bit more protein rich. Since I'm at home, I can actually take the time to make something nice, which is definitely something I miss about my work from home days. I'm also having a yellow kiwi. It's the last one. And in the spirit, as I said, of using up what we have, Although if I didn't finish it, it was gonna go bad. I think like another day and this would not have been worth eating. I feel like I like the regular kiwis better, but every so often I convince myself to try the yellow ones. Then I always regret it a bit. I mean, they're fine, but they just don't taste as good as the green ones. The one terrible thing about making my own meals is that I just did dishes and now I have to do more dishes. And that's just the curse of making your own food. So this is what these little washing machines actually look like in action. They are one very loud and they wiggle a lot. So if you've seen the ads for these, like they're not as, you know, but they do the job. Like I just put that in. I think I might need to put more soap in. Last time I put way too much water in, so I'm still learning to use this, but it works. I bought that particular model because I figured it's foldable, so it saves a little space. My apartment's small, so I don't want anything that takes up too much space. But also, I'm only really going to use it for a handful of things, like, you know, my delicates, my undergarments, stuff like that. So it's useful. And the occasional red shirt, like I'm staring at one right there. I don't have a lot of red clothes, but whenever I do, I have to give it to my mom. This way, don't have to give it to my mom. I could do it myself. Behold, I'm sure that if I put this in the laundry with anything else, everything would come out pink. So now I am removing the water again, and this is the drying basket. So I'll put this inside. I'll put the garment inside this thing, and it'll start spinning and do like a spin cycle thing, just to rinse it a little bit, and like pulls the water out. It doesn't leave it dry, but it does a really good job. This is the part where it goes genuinely bananas, and yeah, this is what it looks like. It's crazy. I just got home and I am melting into the couch. It is so hot and humid outside. It's absolutely unbearable. I heard that the feels like is 112, even though it's only like 96 degrees, I think. But I believe it because it is just stifling out there. I finished laundry. Now I have to hang up the stuff that didn't dry properly. I have a few outfits that like they're just thick enough that they never dry properly. And I don't know what else I have to do. I have to make the bed and do all that stuff. I don't really want to. I am a little worn out. I think I did a little too much, and my headache is not feeling good. Definitely feel a lot of pressure in the back of my head. Oh, the little girl is here. Baby girl. Hello, little toesies. There she is. She's being a sweet girl. Hi. I definitely feel a lot of pressure building in my head. It was storming a little bit where I just went, because I also had to go to Walmart to return some stuff, so it was storming a bit, and I'm really hoping that it rains and maybe that'll make the headache go away. Sometimes that's the thing that does it, but the heat doesn't help. I also picked up an iced blended coffee from Wawa, just because it hopefully would help a little bit. I was wondering if maybe a little bit of caffeine, but definitely a little bit of cold. I need to turn the air back on in here. I turned it off before I left, but it's just too hot to be in here. Isn't that right, baby girl? Yes, I need to eat us. Hello. Hello. There's your little bees. Okay. I definitely went a little too hard, and the migraine is really back. I took some Advil because I would like to avoid the Triptan if I can, and if I must, then I'll take it tomorrow or tonight so that I'm ready for tomorrow for work. But I'm laying on an ice pack. That's where my pain is, and drinking a little bit of kombucha because sometimes it helps my stomach, at least like the nausea aspects of it. Also, like just laying here listening to ASMR, because sometimes that also helps with like stimulating other parts of my head. So I'm hoping that the Advil kicks in and at least alleviates some of the pain in my neck so that those muscles relax at least to relieve the pressure on the nerves and allow me to move on. I'm fairly sure that this one is weather related because of the incoming storm. It rains slightly, but I don't think it's going to pour until tomorrow. This is just how it is. I sometimes feel very hopeless about this whole situation because it knocks me out for not just hours but days. I go through the pre and post drone phases pretty badly, usually with exhaustion. And it just feels like so much of my life just gets sucked out by migraine, and I hate it. I really do. I'll check in with you guys later. I'm a little better. I recovered, and I don't think it rained around here, but it definitely rained around town somewhere because I got an alert that it would be raining for a little while. So I think that did help with the migraine, but also I sucked it up and took 3 Advil and like laid on my ice like I showed you guys. So I think that also contributed. But it is now night. I didn't record dinner because I actually cooked dinner for my partner. He had been wanting pork tonkatsu, and I hate frying things, but he doesn't know how to make it for himself, so I made it. And the reason I hate frying things is because I'm absolutely terrified of like oil splatter. It's like, I don't know, like just one of those things. Like as far as cooking, like I hate anything. If I come across a recipe that says must be deep fried, I'm like, nope. There is no deep frying in this house. I am absolutely terrified. I think, and this is like one of those things that I would need to navigate with like a therapist. I think it's because when I was like 3 years old, I don't remember this, but I know because I've been told, like I did witness like an oil fire start in my home, and I know that my mom says I was very scared of the kitchen for a long time, and when I learned to cook, I was scared of the stove for a little bit. Like, when I learned to cook as like an 11-year-old, like that I, like fried my first egg or something. Like I didn't want to fry an egg. Also, Cuban style fried eggs are not like American style. They're like the Spanish ones that are made in a pool of oil. So that always terrified me. And I think it was that. Like I had this like canon event as a child where seeing this pan catch on fire like absolutely terrified me. And like oil splatter is painful, so I avoid it at all costs. But I did it for him, but I did not want to record it because I knew that I would be grumbling and complaining about it the whole time. So it was nice. He made the rice, I made the pork. He had bought the pork, but I had all the other ingredients except for the panko. So I made that for him. He was happy. And as I told him, I was like, well, now that you've seen me do this twice, because I have shown him twice, and I sent him a recipe, I'm like, the rest is on you. I do not fry things, and this is it. Like we're not doing this again. So we had a nice little dinner. My headache improved, and then I came home and made the bed because I washed it, and I did not hang up the clothes. So some of my laundry is yet to be sorted until tomorrow. But let's face it, if I get lazy, it might be a couple of days, but it'll be someday this week. So I will check out and wish you all a good night or a good day, good morning, good evening, whatever it is where you are, and hope that you're all doing great. So until next time, bye.